This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. Today we are going to discuss about M-unit framework. So what is an M-unit framework? Anyone having an idea? M-unit?
It's for the unit testing?
Only for the unit testing?
No.
We can write unit testing. We can
Integration
write
testing.
Load testing, integration, load and
integration testing also. We'll discuss about this too. Okay. Honestly speaking, I didn't work on this M-unit framework. I didn't get a chance to work on this. But whatever the concepts I gathered from the documentation and many resources, I created one very beautiful use case. And based on that use case, I will try to explain different kind of strategies. Okay, different kind of strategies in this M-unit framework. But see again, I'm giving a platform of this framework. Okay, there are many strategies. If you once you understand the platform how to work, then you according to the requirement you need to go to the description and you need to work on the remaining strategies. Okay, now what is the structure of a flow?
It
Yes,
contains
yes.
source, processors, error handler.
Source, process, and error handler, right? What do you configure a source part? So why I'm asking each and every point here, there is a meaning. That means you will understand going forward. So what we configure in the source part?
Inbound
Endpoints.
Like listener? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. What this listener will do?
It will convert the request into mule event.
Very good. Event. That event will be processed by?
Processors.
1 second. I can see new participant Timuraju. May I know who is this?
Actually, this is Raju.
Raju. Okay, got it. Now you
Okay.
suddenly change the name. How can I
Okay.
understand? Yeah. Okay, that's fine. Thank you. So where we stopped? Yeah, event. That event will be processed by
Processors.
Okay. Now assume that this is a flow 1. We have a flow 2. Right? Here also I have a listener. One of the flow processor in a flow 1 is a flow reference, which is invoking a flow 2. So when we are invoking by using a flow reference, from where the execution will start? In the flow 2?
From the processor.
Pardon? From the
Processor.
Processors.
Why? What is the reason? What is the reason? We know already. It's a very simple point. Why? What is the reason why you reference to flow reference?
We already have the mule event that will get passed.
Yes, exactly right. So who is creating that event? My listener, right? So if I configure listener also in a flow 2, what happened to that? It will be ignored. It will not be considered, right? Okay. Now here we have 2 processors, right? In a flow 1, 2 remaining processors. Those 2 processors are dependent on the values coming from a flow 2. That means in the event, based on that values, these remaining 2 processors are going to execute. So these 2 are not integrated with each other. If my flow 1 is dependent on a flow 2 values, can I call these 2 are integrated? Yes or no?
Yes.
If I want to test the logic of a flow 1, do I need to test the logic for flow 2 as well? Do I need to execute the flow 2 as well? Yes or no?
yes.
So do I need to test both the flow 1 and flow 2?
Yes.
Yes.
Integrated testing. When we come to unit testing, same use case. I want to test the logic about a flow 1, but flow 1 is dependent on a flow 2. But I don't want to test the logic present in a flow 2 this time. But I want to test the logic in a flow 1. What to do? I want to test only this unit, even though it is dependent on the external values. What to do? What can I do here?
Simulate the response.
I'll just
In other
ask
words,
the dummy and see the
mock
response.
the values. Simple. In other words, can
Yeah.
I mock the values?
Yes.
The incoming values, can I mock? That means, can I first of all, do I need to mock this flow? Yes, right? I need to mock this flow, and what are the values coming also I need to mock. And I want to give as an input in the event, right? That is called unit testing. I have a very beautiful use case here. Let me import that munit project. So it is the use case will maybe some for a few people it may be little bit tricky. Please try to concentrate that on use case. Where is this? So 01 munit start. Okay. See, actually, what I've done, I mean, I thought of before giving this, documents to you, I thought of rectifying it. Actually, the use case is I'm unfortunately deleted from this start project. So what I can do, I can import a solution project also. I mean, at your end also, you can do the same. You can import a solution project where the use case is present. Munit solution. Okay. Now, once it got imported, just copy that XML file. Just copy that XML file which is present in the solution to the start project. Copy this, paste it in your start project. Mine is 16 GB. You can see the time how much unit is taking. Yeah, it is copied. Now let me close it in order to avoid some confusion. What I need to do, I can delete this start.xml file which is empty. I'm deleting that from the start project. Now, for understanding purpose, I want to rename this file name to 01 munit start. How to rename any XML file? Right click on that, refactor and rename. Instead of demo, I want this as a start. Okay. Now let me open it, start file. See, I have a use case here, right? I have 4 flows total, right? I will rename this flow names. Main flow, right? So first, I'm going to get a requirement like this from the client, the postman 8081 slash test. So in order to listen for the request, I have a listener. So I have a listener, which is invoking, which is what is the path? Slash test is the path. Next, what the listener will do? What the listener will do? Quickly.
It will convert the request into mule event.
Event. So right now I have an empty event. By using a set payload, what I'm trying to do? I'm setting a payload value. How? By extracting the value from the query params. You need to respond from the query params. URL underscore key is the key. So assume that I'm passing some value as payload 1. Payload underscore 1. So what is the value I'm passing? This value, payload underscore 1. So by using the set payload, if I deploy this application, what will be the value?
Payload 1.
Yes,
Payload
value is
underscore
1.
1.
Payload underscore 1 is the payload value. Next. So in that event I have, as of now, do I have attributes? Yes, right?
Yeah.
In the event, do I have attributes after the set payload? I'm telling in a very detailed way. Please try to understand. Okay, I don't want anyone to confuse on this. So after the set payload, what is the event structure? Can anyone tell me quickly? Come on. What is the event structure after the set payload? Everything, if I need to draw, it will take a lot of time.
Attributes are will be the
Query param.
This is a set payload. What I'm trying to do from the listener, what I'm getting to the as an event in this event. Do I have any attributes
Well,
in the incoming
Yes.
request?
yes.
Query params.
Yes.
URL underscore key equal to payload underscore 1. Is it not a URL query parameter? Is it not an attribute? I have an attribute. But do I have any payload? Empty. Do I have any variable? Empty. Right? This is the event structure before set payload. What I am trying to do by using a set payload, I am trying to extract the value from the query parameter. I want to set this value as a payload. So after this set payload, what is the event structure? Do I have any attributes?
Yes.
Yes. Query params is the attribute which I have. Right? Do I have any payload?
Yes.
Yes.
Payload underscore 1 is the payload. Do I have any variable?
No.
Empty.
No.
Right? So please think in this way. Okay, everything is an event behind the scenes. Event will be carried forward. Right? So now that event is processed by what? Flow reference is the processor. That flow reference is referencing to which flow? Choice flow, which is an external flow. That means one more flow. Right? Now you know when you use a flow reference, event will be processed by the processor in the choice flow. That means external flow or else child flow. Yes or no? Right? So what is the processor here? What is the processor here? Choice flow is the processor. What happened? Not able to understand or what? No one is giving a response. What is the processor? Choice flow is the processor. So choice flow will work based on some conditions or what? Choice flow will work based on some condition. So what is the condition I have written here? What do you mean by this?
Payload 1.
So in the event, if the payload value is equal to payload underscore 1, then this route should get executed. Okay. If the payload is some anything else apart from payload underscore 1, that means the first condition will fail and it will go to the default route. This route will get executed. Understand? Now assume that I am passing payload underscore 1 as an input. Then this route will get executed. What is there in this route? What is the processor? Flow reference is a processor which is referencing to subflow 1. What is there in the subflow? In the event as of now, I have an attribute payload, right? Right now, I'm trying to create a variable by using a set variable component. So what is the variable name? My variable is the variable name. Value is my variable 1. Okay. Now assume that I'm giving instead of payload underscore 1, I'm giving some 2. Will this condition satisfy?
No.
No. Then we'll go to the default route. Default route is having a flow reference which is referencing to subflow 2. Right? What is there in subflow 2? I'm going to create one more variable with a name, my variable, and value is my variable 2. So as of now, total how many variables I created in the event?
2 variable.
Think and answer. Purposefully I asked this question. How many variables I am able to create in this event? One, right? Either first or second routes. That means either first subflow 1 or subflow 2 will get executed only, right? Not two variables. If I give this request payload underscore 1, first route will get executed and variable with my variable name. My variable is the variable name. Variable value is my variable 1. If I give any other value, it will be my variable 2. So only one variable, either first one or a second one. So as of now, after this choice router, after this flow reference in the event, what is the event structure after the flow reference? Yes, after the flow reference, what is
Query
the event
params,
structure? Query params.
payload underscore 1 or 2.
If it is payload underscore 1, then what will be the variable?
My variable 1.
My variable 1 is the value, right? But what is the name? My variable is the name, right? If I pass payload underscore 2 as an input, as a payload, then
My variable
my
2.
variable 2, same name will remain same, right? So my variable 2 will be the value. Okay, next, what is the next processor here? Again, I used one more choice router which work by based on some condition. What is the condition I have written? In the event, if the my variable value is my variable 1, then this expression should evaluate. That means if this route should get executed. What is the route? I'm overriding the value of a payload. Instead of payload 1, till now it is a payload 1 or a payload 2, right? It will become what? Response underscore payload underscore 1 or response underscore payload underscore 2 based on the incoming request. So finally you understood, you know what is the input we are going. If it is a payload 1, ultimately the response should come as a payload response underscore payload underscore 1. If it is payload, I mean apart from payload 2, if you give any other value, sorry, if you give any other value apart from payload underscore 1, it should give a response as payload response underscore payload underscore 2 as an output. Understood the use case? Is it confusing? Is it clear or confusing? Do I want to, I mean, you want me to repeat again? It's totally up to you. Is it
Yeah,
clear?
can you please repeat Sujit one more time?
You asking, Arvind?
In between, like your voice broke. Like,
Oh, is it?
yeah.
Okay. Okay, this is the URL. This is the request given by my client. Quickly, I will give it. Okay, outline of this. My client is giving this request. This request contains what? Attributes. What is the key and value for that attribute? URL underscore key is a key, and payload 1 is the value. Okay. Now, to listen for that request, I have a listener. Right? Okay, this is the path. Then it converts that into event. Right now, the event structure is what? Attributes. I have empty payload and empty variables. So by using the set payload, I'm trying to set the payload value. What is the payload value? What is the payload value right now? If you extract this expression or if you execute this expression, payload underscore 1 will be the payload value, right? So right now in the event, I have attributes, payload value as payload underscore 1 and empty variables. So that event is given to the flow reference, which is referencing to choice flow. So I have written some condition in the choice router. If the incoming payload value is payload 1, then I want to execute this subflow 1. That means I want to create one variable with a name my variable and variable value is my variable 1. So right now, if I give input attribute as payload underscore 1 query parameter, the payload will be payload and payload underscore 1 and the variable also my variable 1. Okay. If I give payload underscore 2 as an attribute, then payload will become payload underscore 2 and the second route will get executed. That means variable value will be my variable 2, right? In both the variables, I have given a variable name as my variable only, right? So then the event comes back to the choice router in the main flow. So what is the choice router expression? That means the first condition. In the event, if the my variable value is my variable 1, then this route will get executed. If your value is my variable 2, then second route will, in the sense, I have not written a condition, by default will go to the second route. So what is there in the route? As of now, before executing the set payload, what is the payload value in the event? It will be a payload underscore 1 that I'm overriding with the response underscore payload underscore 1. All right. If you give any other value in the input, if I give 2, final output is what? Response underscore payload underscore 2. Totally based on your input, output also will change. Understood now?
Yes, Sujit. Thanks.
Yes, Sujit.
Got it? Now, I will come to actual concept here. So right now I want to write a test case to test this logic present in the main flow, right? But in this main flow, this choice router is dependent on the values coming from a choice flow. That means variable values. Yes or no? As per my discussion in the slide, flow 1 is dependent on the values coming from a flow 2. The same thing here. Flow 1, main flow, is dependent on the values coming from a choice flow. Yes or no? right?
Yes.
So first we'll talk about integration testing. So first of all, how to write a test case? We are going to use MUnit framework as an MUnit as a framework to write some test cases for your logic, right? So very simple. MUnit will be acting as a what do you call it? Plugin to your AnyPoint Studio, right? Everything will be a suite. Okay, suite is also nothing but an XML behind the scenes. So if you create any mule configuration file, one XML will be created. Under that XML, we'll write a flows, right? We'll write a flows. Each flow contains three parts: source, process, and error handling, right? This is an XML configuration XML, right? Now when we create any suite, if you want to write any test case, where we can write a test case, we can write under a test. We will call this as a test. How we will call this as a flow? We will call this as a test. This is also contains three parts. One is behavior. We'll call this part as behavior. Execution, what code you want to execute, and validation. That means what you want to validate. Assertion logic we will write in the validation part. And behavior part, if you mock any values, we can write under a behavior, right? This is the structure of a test. Where we can write this test, we will call this as a suite. Again, it's a nothing but an XML, right? Suite.xml. How many flows we can write in an XML? Similarly, we can write number of tests as in a suite. Okay, everything is called as a test. Got it? Now let me create a suite. So right click on this MUnit, create a blank test for this flow. See, immediately it will create one suite. Okay, you can see this is a suite. It got created, and you have a message flow, global elements, and configuration XML. Similar structure how you would get for a mule application, mule configuration XML, right? So but this is a suite. 01 MUnit start test suite. Okay, this is the name, right? So where this suite got created? Under SRC test MUnit. Okay, there, as I said on the first day, it's a testing environment, so it will be created. Now you can see I will rename this test with a name as test1. Okay, as I said, it contains three parts: behavior, execution, and validation. So what is there in the execution part?
Flow reference.
One second. Just for alignment, I am just drawing this, okay, to make you feel easy. I'm doing this alignment. Have a look. So this is my suite. This is my configuration XML. That means mule application. So I have written a logic for this main. Okay. Now this is using a flow reference and referencing to this main flow. Whenever you are using a flow reference, execution will start from which part in the main flow?
First
Processor.
processor.
Process part, right? But what is there in the process part? Okay.
Payload.
Why it will start from the process part? What is the reason? Someone told in the 10 minutes before. Why it will
already
start from
has
the,
event.
but do I have any event here? Already have an event? Do I have any event here? If you have two flows, and in the first flow you have a listener which converts that request into event, but when I'm writing a test, directly it is using a flow reference which is referencing to main flow. That means this listener will be ignored in the main flow. But where is the event? To set a payload or create a variables or to extract attributes, but where is the event here? Do I have any event?
No, we have to
No,
mock
right?
that, right?
We have to pass it.
Yeah, whenever you are using an MUnit, there is two modules got created, MUnit and MUnit tools, where it contains some operations, right? These are the two modules got added. So under that MUnit module, there is something called set event operation. Drag and drop that set event operation before flow reference.
Flow reference.
So what I'm trying to do, I'm setting a event. What is the structure of an event? attributes,
Payload and variable.
variables. Right now I want to I mean in the event what I want to set from the set payload, what I'm trying to extract query params, right?
Variable.
Query params are nothing but an attributes. I want to set an attributes. So have you remembered in the transformation when I'm using a filter, I asked you to remember one how to mock the attributes. Anyone remember that point?
We directly wrote the query params in the
On the left side, we mock
ref
that
side.
query params, right?
Yeah, correct.
We mock that query params. So same thing I'm going to do here. Query params are nothing but a key value pair. Agree? Sorry, first of all, attributes are nothing but a key value pair, right? What type of attribute I am going to extract?
Query params.
Query params, right? Again, the query params are nothing but a key value pair, right? What is the key as of now? It is trying to extract
URL underscore key.
URL underscore key. URL underscore key. And what is the value? If I pass payload underscore 1. So one more thing you need to remember, in munit, all the key value pairs to be right in a single quotes. Okay, otherwise it's not able to read that values. The same thing happened in securing the file. Remember that point? Securing the configurations, secure configuration properties. First time when you secure that, when you encrypt that file, it is not able to read the values if you're not writing in a quotations.
Yeah.
After writing a quotations, remember that point?
Yeah.
Yeah. So right now I have written some value. All the values to be written in some syntax. What is the syntax? Data view syntax. Okay, save it. Save it again. You need to save. If you're not saving and going back to one of the flow reference or any of the event, any of that component come back here, it will not be saved. It will be removed. Right? Save it immediately and go to the configuration XML and observe. What I'm doing here, I'm setting an event. In that event, I'm trying to set the attributes. I'm trying to set the attributes by passing some, what is the value? Data view expressions, right? Next. Now I set an event is ready. Now my flow reference will start execution from the set payload. This set payload, what it will do, it will extract the query parameters from the event. What is the value in the payload right now? Payload underscore 1, right? That value will be given to the flow reference, and I mean in the choice router it is extracting, it is cross-checking that whether payload value is payload 1 or not. If it is payload, this flow reference is getting executed. That means subflow 1. This subflow 1, what it is doing, it is creating a variable called my variable with a value my variable 1. That event is given back to the main flow, and in this main flow I have a choice router. Again I have written some condition to extract a variable value. If my variable that means if I'm trying to extract a my variable value, what is the my variable value? My variable 1. If it is that equals to some string I have written, okay, I'm writing some condition. If it got evaluated, that means if it is satisfied, then this set payload, that means response underscore payload underscore 1, okay, some string I have written. So I know what is an input, what is the output of my application. That's what I want to test. From this application I'm going to get, I know as a developer, I know response underscore payload underscore 1 is the output I'm going to get, right? So I need to test that. How to test that? Where I need to write the testing logic, validation logic in the validation part. So under munit tools there is something called asset. That we need to asset, that means I want to validate that incoming value is equal to so and so. So I want to asset what I want to asset. What I want to asset, whatever the payload I'm getting at the end of the flow. Payload, this is the expression mode. What is the payload at here? Yeah, what is the payload after execution of all this? Payload
Response
underscore,
payload.
Response underscore payload underscore 1.
right? In a data view expression, in a data view language, munit tools is a module. Under that modules we have some predefined functions. Right now what is my requirement? I want to validate that incoming payload value to be equal to is a function equal to what? response underscore payload underscore 1. I'm writing some string, right? I want this payload to be equal to this one. Then only test case is success. If at all it is failed, then I want to display some message like what I can display. Okay, payload is not as expected. Okay, save it. Save it. Now let me deploy. Right click on this and run munit suite. It will pick one of the port in your application. I mean randomly it will pick a port and it will be deployed. Once it is deployed, when the one, how you will understand whether the test case is successful or not? On the left side, you are able to see something munit errors, munit coverage, right? It's like a what do you call it? It's like a summary. What is the suite name which I am getting deployed? 01 munit start test suite.xml. This is the suite name, right? How many respond, guys? Is it, what is the suite name?
munit start test suite.
Same thing, right? 01 munit start test suite.xml, right? Under that suite, how many test cases are available?
1.
If you expand that, you can see the test one, right? See, actually, this is a very colorful application. You can see the icons will be change the color. Right now, still it is getting deployed. You are able to see that icon in a light blue color, right? Once it got deployed, successful, and if your suite is successful, the color is changed to green color. You can see the bar. That means green color bar. It's an acknowledgement that entire suite is successful. That means all the test cases present in that suite got executed and it got success. You can see one by one. What is this? What is this report? Yeah, in
Yeah,
that
one
suite,
suit and then
have
successful.
one test that got successful. That means basically deployed. And what do you mean by this error and a failure?
There are no errors.
What is the difference between error and a failure?
Yeah, if the test case itself failed, or then it come under the failure, and if it did not deploy properly, then it's an error, right?
It's basically syntax errors.
Yeah,
right?
syntax errors.
Syntax errors comes under error. So right now I don't have any error, I don't have any failure. That means the test case is success, right? Oh my god. Ideally it should show some tick marks over the head here of the, let me open this again. Now you can see I just changed the alignment here. For mule application, are you able to see some tick marks over the head of the processor?
Yes.
Yes.
What do you mean by that?
It means it shows that which processor failed if there is any error or failure.
No.
It maybe those processors got executed.
Yes, the call has been gone to so and so processor, right? If I give this request, set payload got executed, listener got executed. No, right? No, because I set an event manually. Because I'm using a flow reference, execution start from the set payload. That means set payload got executed, then a flow reference which is referencing to choice flow, and in that flow reference is the processor got executed because the condition is satisfied. Then the set variable got executed. We cannot write testing logic for a flows. We can write testing logic for variable, sorry, a component or a processor. What do you mean by that? Suppose, see, by seeing the tick marks, we can come to know as a developer. But if you want to write really a test case, whether the logic, that means the call has been gone to set variable or not, how to write a test case for that? We can write a test case for that. How to write it? My question is, my query is, my requirement is, I want to verify the call has been gone to the set variable or not. Logically, I want to write a test case for that. Very simple. Right click on this, again create one more test. See, one more test got created. I will rename this to verify call. We are going to do that verify call, right? Now, you know, you by default the flow reference will execute and will set payload will start. But this test one is different. This verify call test is different. Do I need to have an event again? Do I need to configure that event again? Of course, yes, right? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, Vijay.
Everything is event is different. I need to write that event again. So how to write that event? Set event. And same case, it is extracting the URL, I mean attributes, right? Let me copy paste from the previous one. But am I duplicating this? Am I rewriting that again? Is it, which is a duplicate work? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes,
right?
Vijay.
Okay, I will tell a solution for that. Under MUnit, there is something called before test, before suit. After test, after suit. I want to execute this set event before every test. So can I use the before test option? Right? So can I drag and drop the set event here and delete from here? So how many times this set event will get executed right now? One time or two times?
2 times.
Two times, right? Before
Yeah.
every test case. If you want to execute any logic before executing this suit, there is something called before suit. Similarly, after test and after suit. Right now I'm using a before test and I'm creating one event. Whenever we deploy this application, all the tests will be deployed, and for every test, the set event will be executed. Right now, okay, I created set event and the flow reference executed. Then what is our requirement here? I want to verify the call has been gone to the set variable or not. Set variable is a processor which is referenced by flow reference is a processor. So I want to pick a processor, right? So how to pick a processor and how to validate it? Under MUnit tools, there is something called verify call. Just drag and drop this verify call on the validation part. What do we need to verify? Which processor? When the processor meets which processor, we need to pick that processor. When a processor matches which processor, this is the outline of your application. So I need to pick which processor. I want to verify call to which processor now?
Subflow 1.
Subflow 1, which is referenced by flow reference is a processor, right? So select that one, right? So now we can see what is the name. Subflow 1 is the name. Once I pick the processor, automatically it looks that, right? But I'm able to see some errors. Where is the error? Verify call. Now I'm not able to see any error here. So let me go back to the configuration XML and observe here. Okay, I can see some errors here. What is this error? Let me expand it. One second. I'm not able to expand. One second. So how many times I selected a processor? One time only, right? And why it is showing multiple times? Actually, this was a bug. This is a bug in this version. Okay, so it's already reported and they are working on it. So it is taking multiple times. Please delete that manually. Okay, when you use a pick processor, it is taking duplicates. So save it now. Now the message flow. Do I get any error? No, right? Can I deploy this now and check? Okay, I didn't show you when I get an exception how it looks like. I will make this test one assertion to. Purposefully, I'm making this to 2, right? I'm saving it. So let me deploy. Can you please tell me the summary? How many tests will get deployed under this suit, and how many will get execute? How many will be failed? How many will be success? Quickly. Just give me a summary. How many tests I have here in this suit?
There are 2 tests under
Two
that
tests.
suit and
2
2
tests only,
tests.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, 2 tests. Both are getting deployed and both are getting executed, right? Which one will be failed? Which is success?
Test 1 will be failed.
Because I have done the assertion wrong. As per
Wrong.
our knowledge, it should come as response underscore payload underscore 1 only, because in the event I have set like that. So when at least one test is failed, even one test is failed in the entire suit, your suit throws as an error. You can see the summary here. 2 out of 2 got deployed and got executed. Out of that, 1 is failed. Which one is failed? Test 1 is failed. You can see in the blue color icon, right? Just select the test 1 if you want to see what is the message, what is that throwing as an. Under munit errors, we can see that message. Let me expand that. Can anyone read what is the error message it is thrown?
Payload is not as
This is
expected.
the description which I have written over there.
Yes.
Right? Payload is not as expected. But what it is expecting? As per our assertion, it is expecting response underscore payload underscore 2. But application is just giving us the response as response underscore payload underscore 1. So that is failed. Verify call. Is it success?
Yes.
That means this subset variable, which is referenced by flow reference, is getting executed, logically proven, right? Right. Next.
Yep.
Okay. Now, I mean, we have seen the integration logic, how to test, a unit, but it is dependent on the external values, right? Right now, my requirement is I don't want to execute this choice flow. I want to test the logic present in this main flow only. What to do? Let me create a test for that again. One more test. This time I will write this as a unit test. Okay, unit test. Okay, next. Do I need to create an event again? No, right?
No.
Already written in a before test, right? I will use the same assertion logic, but this time I will change the validation to response underscore payload underscore 1. I want to make it as a success. Okay, next. Now, once the event got executed, the set payload is trying to execute a payload value, and it is that event is given to the flow reference. But this flow reference is referencing to choice flow. I don't want that. That means I don't want to execute this choice flow. So what to do? I need to mock this choice flow. So there is an operation called mock when. Just write it under the behavior. Mock when. You need to pick that flow and the processor. So pick a processor. Mock when. When I need to mock.
Choice flow reference.
Can you please see and tell me? More closely watch.
Choice flow.
Hmm?
Choice flow.
This choice flow. As I said, we cannot directly write a logic for a flows processors. We need to write up for a processor.
Choice.
Choice flow. See here.
In the main flow, we need to select choice flow.
One second. I will tell that. So I need to pick processor when the control mates in the main flow reference, right?
Choice.
In the main flow reference, which is referencing to choice flow. This is where I want to mock. Yes.
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 Okay. Once I mock that, what are the values you are expecting from the choice flow? Once you mock that, what are the values you are expecting? Either a payload or attributes or a variables.
Variables.
Variables, right? You need to write a variable. So what is the variable you are expecting? What is the key for that? My variable is the key. For both the variables, my variable is the key, right?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yes.
And what is the value you are expecting there?
My variable underscore 1.
So values to be write in a expression mode. So what is the value here?
Var
My
slot.
variable 1.
My
Variable
variable
1.
1. So again, whenever you use a pick processor, it is throwing some errors. What is that error? It will pick as a duplicates. So what I need to do? While you are deleting that, please be careful. 1, 2, delete. And my variable, how many times?
I have to
1
delete
second.
it 2 times.
And this one also I need to delete, right? 1 and see, always check with the starting tag and ending tag. Save it. Now the error has gone.
So Sujit, is this issue resolved in 7.8?
I need to check. I mean, as I said, I didn't work on 7.8 as of now. You need to tell me when we are using that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's not yet resolved. I mean, I'm not checked. I didn't check it. Please let me know once we practice it. Yeah, where I start? Yeah. So let me deploy this. So how many tests I have here in this suit?
3.
Okay. 3 out of 3. 3 will be executed, right? Is there any syntax error I have written?
Yeah, I think variable setting.
What is that wrong in that?
Is it not vars dot variable name?
No, we are not extracting the variable. We are mocking.
Okay.
That means we are
Okay.
setting the manual. Let's see if it is going to throw an error or a failure. Let's see. You can see one error and one failure. Yeah. Test 1. Since we have written assertion as response underscore payload underscore 2, it is failed, right? Verify call is a success. And unit, why it is showing in a different way? Yes. What is that?
The variable is not set with a value, a proper value. I think it is a string, but
That is the one. Purposefully I have done this to make you understand about what is the difference between an error and a failure. Where you have written that, then written what? Variables.
Variables.
Variables should be written in an
String
expression mode
value.
where, sorry, the string to be written in a
quote.
quote. Save it. Now again, let me, okay, what happened again? Oh my God, again it has taken duplicates. This is very tough to identify where it starts and where it ends. Okay, before that, one more thing, last deployment. See, I have 3 tests here, right? 3 tests. I don't want this test 1 to get execute. What can I do? Can I ignore the test? Right click on this test. There is something called ignore test. You can see the stop button, right? That is where you can use it, or else if you just click on the test, you can see ignore test. By default, it's a true. Sorry, by default, it's a false. You can make it to true. Now let me deploy. Now, can you please tell me how many tests will get deployed and how many will get executed, how many errors and how many failures? Can you give me a report quickly?
Two tests will be executed.
Okay. How many will be deployed? How many will be executed? How many will be ignored? Errors, failures, success?
1 will be ignored.
quick. It's very easy. Yes.
No errors.
No errors. Okay, because whatever I'm going to create an error that got ignored. See here the three out of the three got deployed. Deployment is different, execution is different. Once it got deployed, then only it will understand whether the test is ignored or not, right? So 3 out of 3, 2 are executed, 1 is ignored, right? So verify call is got executed and it is success, and unit it is also success. Test 1 which I ignored, you can see the different color for icon. Yes, it is ignored. So like that you can ignore the use cases, sorry, test cases as well. Got it? That's what I want to talk about a unit framework.
So Sujit, couple of questions. So the only difference I see between munit and unit test is in the unit test you are setting the behavior.
Correct.
Is that the only difference? So we are marking the value there. So we are bypassing the call to the private flows.
That means
Yeah,
external flows. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. The other one, when every time when you want to test it, you are running this suite.
Exactly.
So when you build, but usually in a Java application, when we have unit test cases, when we build the application, the unit test cases will automatically get executed and we get the report. Is that the case here? When we build the application,
No, that is not the case. This is for a developer. This is only for a developer if you want to test his case.
Okay.
See, in other words, very simple. If you are not using munit also, we are, we are not testing. Have you not testing on daily basis? Whatever the code you are writing, am I deploying and just checking the response whether it is correct or not as a developer?
Yeah.
Both the same, right?
Okay. So we have to.
Clients may ask, what is the strategy you use for a testing? Right? That's why they created a unit framework. So again, unit is just given a framework outline. Okay, actually, this is not part of a fundamental course at all. So I thought of including this. At least you will be getting an idea. Sometimes you, as a developer, you may end up in writing some test cases as well. At that time, should not be a blank when you talk about unit. And you are not going to get any single question on unit in a test and in the exam, certification exam.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Happy